Hello, Times Cryptic, let's go. Musical theatre that's old has Europe excited. Excited looks like an anagram indicator. So we're looking for 10 letters. Has Europe, has 9. But I'm thinking musical theatre could be a reference to opera. And we have OPER in Europe and A in has. So we're left with EUSH. I think this is, opera house. I was going to say house opera, which means nothing. Yes, an opera house is a musical theatre, and then excited is an anagram indicator for O, the abbreviation for old, has, and Europe. Pained expression. In a sense, T off. T could refer to the letter T because that's how it's spelt. Yes, and a pained expression is ouch. The sense is touch, T off without T. Personification of majesty and style in old dance. Nope. Surprised reaction for one piece of publicity. Wow, what is this? Similar to one down, which was a pained expression, a surprised reaction for one piece of publicity. That could refer just to the initial letter of the word, a P, but I can't see that being in last place. I'll come back to that. Everyone repeating what cryptic crossword creator is doing. Everyone looks like a reference to all, or could be. Repeating, yes, is either iterating or iteration. So everyone is all. Repeating is iterating or iteration. And then what the words cryptic crossword creator are doing is they're all beginning with the letter C, which is what alliteration is. Start of attack where crew does some shooting. Well, start, yes, this is onset. An onset is the start of an attack. And where crew does some shooting is on set, as in on a film set. Localities rebuilt without complaint. So, rebuilt looks like an anagram indicator for localities, with the definition being without complaint. Yes, this is stoically. Is that an anagram of localities? Yes, it is. Now, 9 across, 4 letters in. Personification of majesty. Well, I can see that. Well, I think this is Charleston, but let me go through the wordplay. So, Charles is the personification of majesty because the current current monarch of England is King Charles. Style is ton because that's what ton means in the dictionary, one of the definitions. That gives Charleston, which is an old dance. Now, A, not always helpful, but it's all we're going to get. Surprised reaction for one. Yes, this is egad. So, egad is an interjection, hence a surprised reaction. For one is for example, and e.g. is the abbreviation for a Latin phrase meaning for example. And the piece of publicity is an ad. Important cities, condition, excellent. Well, this looks like it begins state. Yeah, well, yes, I'm sure this is right. So, a state capital is an important city because it is the capital of a state in America. Condition is state. What condition is that in? What state is it in? And excellent is capital. Fantastic. Representative thrusts a child under spotlight initially. Yeah, I think this is going to be spokesperson. So a spokesperson is a representative. Thrusts is pokes. A is per. Child is son. Under spotlight initially, under S, the initial letter of spotlight. Force everyone to yield to temptation. This is fall. Force is F, the abbreviation. Everyone is all, as it was in 3 down. And to fall is to yield to temptation. Pupil at easel in a depression about broken trust. Broken looks like an anagram indicator for trust. Wow. But where's the definition? If broken trust is part of the word play, then the definition would be, pupil at easel could be an art student. Let's see if the word play corroborates. A depression, a dent, about broken trust, about an anagram of trust. Fantastic. Less than grand achievement for couple holding hands. This really looks like it begins little. Let me see if the T is corroborated. Is at best deficient in odd places. Don't try to improve it. Yeah, this is stet. So if something's deficient in odd places, all that's left are the even places. So if we consider the even numbered letters in the phrase is at best, so the second, fourth letter, etc., we can read S-T-E-T. That is stet, which is a Latin phrase used in editing to mean don't accept this correction. In other words, don't try to improve it. Pessimistic lawmaker. This country's backed for prestigious recognition. This is kudos. So, pessimistic lawmaker is sod, because there is something called Sod's Law, which I think is, if anything bad can happen, then it will happen. Hence, sod, in that context, is a pessimistic lawmaker. This country is the UK from the perspective of somebody living in the UK. Backed is a reversal indicator. So sod UK backed gives kudos, which is prestigious recognition. Now, 8 down. I'm wondering if this is little slam, which is a term in bridge when you take all but one of the tricks. So, yes, a little slam is in contrast to a grand slam. So, less than grand achievement is a little slam. And the couple holding hands is a reference to one of the pairs in bridge. Bridge is a pairs game. North and south play against east and west. So this clue is not a usual clue where you have definition and wordplay. It's called a cryptic definition. The whole thing is a definition, but it's intended to be read in a way that's different to its literal meaning. So when you see couple holding hands, you think of a romantic couple holding hands. In fact, it's partners in a game of cards holding hands of cards. Now, 19 across looks promising. Old part of Africa with chasm in one area. This is Abyssinia. So Abyssinia is an old part of Africa. It's the old name for Ethiopia. Chasm is abyss. In is in. One is I, the Roman numeral for one. And area is A, the abbreviation. I'm unclear about particular type of data. This is numerical. So about is an anagram indicator for I'm unclear. That gives numerical, which is a particular type of data. Bumbling or inexpert, discarding 10 and queen. So 10, I think, refers to X, the Roman numeral for 10. Queen, I think, refers to ER for Elizabeth Regina, or possibly just R for Regina. So I think if we take the word inexpert, we get rid of X and ER, we're left with inept, which means bumbling. Fantastic. Vague, unreflective thinking involving endless depression. Wow, vague. I wonder if this is indistinct. It fits the letter pattern, but what about the word play? Unreflective thinking is instinct, involving endless depression, involving dip without its end. Critical mood in a manner of speaking. Nope, not getting that. Enthusiast, engaged in online recording. Yes, this is another cryptic definition. So again, no distinction between wordplay and definition. It's all definition. But the online recording refers to railway lines, not the internet. So a train spotter is an enthusiast engaged in recording what's going on train lines. Catch, something that's over quick. Well, catch could be a homophone indicator. So we're looking for a word meaning something that's over, with the whole thing meaning quick. Not getting that. Specifically, which letter winds up litigation in that case? Wow, not getting that. Gosh, and we've got 3. Let me just mop up 3 down. It is alliterating, not alliteration. But the left-hand side of the grid has 3 isolated clues. Critical mood in a manner of speaking. Wow. What is this? Critical. Critical is imperative. So, imperative is critical. So we're looking for a word meaning mood inside a manner of speaking. Oh no, I'm not getting this wordplay at all, but let's see if the I and E can be corroborated. Catch, something that's over quick. Nope. Specifically, which letter winds up litigation in that case? Well, I wonder if this is, yes, this is then. So specifically, the letter which winds up or ends the word litigation is the N. And then means in that case. So the E's corroborated. Can we get the I? Catch. Could that be nail? Something that's over quick. Yes, this is nail. So to catch is to nail. I'm just wondering what specific sense catch and nail are synonyms. To catch somebody, to nail them. I'm not sure that's the best, but I think it works. But something that's over quick, well, the fingernail has got a quick, which is the bit of skin. I think it's the bit of skin immediately underneath or below the fingernail, just where the fingernail joins the skin. I think that's called the quick. So something that's over quick is the nail. So we have got corroboration for I and E, but what about explanation? Critical, imperative, mood, in a manner of speaking. Oh, wow, yes. I think this is a reference to grammar. I think in grammar you have moods, and I think the imperative is when you tell somebody what to do. Go out is an imperative instruction. So imperative means critical, and imperative is also a mood in grammar. That's the best I can do. Now, just the bottom right to go. So let me pause and do my brief typo squiz. Make sure everything in is as intended. All the acrosses look good. Yeah, alliterating spelt as intended. Art student and little slam. Okay, so just the bottom right to go. Map change. Altered French region. Yes, this is Champagne. So change, or rather altered, is an anagram indicator for map change. That gives Champagne, which is a French region. From perspective of team game, second form, lacking centre. Good grief, no idea. Organises, having regrouped around leader of gang for hostile action. This is aggression. So having regrouped is an anagram indicator for organises around the leader of gang, the first letter of gang. That gives aggression, which is hostile action. Fit for winter, say, as one cycles wearing fur. Ooh. So, winter is a season. I'm not totally familiar with the word seasonable, and I note that the word reasonable only differs with an unchecked letter, and reasonable could mean fit. But I think seasonable is the intended answer, and I think seasonable means fit for winter, say. Cycles refers to as one, and cycles is different to an anagram indicator. Cycles does give the specific letters, but you can read them next to each other, but not beginning at the end. It's probably better to just demonstrate by example. So if we begin with the A of seasonable, and we're cycling as one, so you can read A, S, O, N, and then the E goes at the beginning of the word, so the letters are cycled, they're not completely random. Wearing fur, wearing sable. Now, 3 orphans to finish, the final push. From perspective of team game, second form, lacking centre. Second could be S. No, not getting that. I'm going to come back to that because it's a bit scary. In hearing, represent part of body. So I think this is limb. In hearing is a homophone indicator. I think represent is a reference to the word limb, L-I-M-N. But I'm not totally sure what that means. However, it sounds like L-I-M-B, which is a part of the body, so I'm fairly confident that's right. I'm not thinking of many other words which fit this letter pattern. Solo appearance in concert, this is once. So once means solo, and appearance is a hidden indicator. So inside the word concert, beginning with the letter O, we can read once. So one clue to go. From perspective of team game. From perspective of team is surely to us. From perspective of team, game. Second, form lacking centre, but a torus does have it does have a centre, but its centre is nothing, it's a hole. A torus is a donut shape. So that is a form lacking a centre, in the sense that the centre of a torus or donut is just empty space. So I'm confident this answer is correct. The definition is form lacking centre, and therefore the word play is from perspective of team game. Second. Yes. So from perspective of is to. Team game is RU, short for rugby union, and second is S, the abbreviation. That gives torus, which is a form lacking centre. So there we go. Every clue solved, every clue explained, no empty squares. Submit, submit. Hope and pray. No errors. Fantastic. Wow, what a beautiful puzzle. I loved that. Absolutely splendid fun from the Times as always. Quite a fast start, but then slowing down a bit towards the end with a bit of a limp across the line with torus, but all the clues were splendid, and it's hard to pick out any particular ones as worthy of extra comment. Just overall very professional and smooth crossword puzzle from the Times. So in terms of the snitch, I would say that was fairly straightforward, but not an absolute whiz through. So perhaps in the 60s or 70s. So I hope you enjoyed watching that solve. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.